This is WPSL Port St. Lucie.
The views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of WPSL. However, we do encourage you to like and share them on Facebook. It's time for Joanne's World of Nutrition, brought to you by Nutrition World in the historic Arcade Building, downtown Fort Pierce, across from City Hall. And now, here's your host, Joanne Augusto.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. I hope everyone's having an incredible morning. And thank you for spending this time with me today. I really appreciate all my listeners. And for all you newbies, we always start the show with a quick breathing exercise. It's something that can immediately help you, and it's free. So I'm hoping all my regular listeners are doing it all day long. So we have in-house expert counter Cliff that we're going to do 3 times our breathing exercise, always in through the nose, hold, and out through the nose only.
This is a good exercise to do if you're about to donate blood, or if you're going to have some blood tests done. You have to sit there and take it, right? But if you do this breathing thing...
Yeah, and also if you have white coat syndrome, where the thought of any type of... checkup just kind of gets you nervous. This is a really good way to focus you, center you, calm you, and create that more oxygen in your body that is beneficial no matter what is going on in your health, or you're just trying to prevent.
Yeah, a lot.
All right, so let's exhale all the drama of the morning, any negativity or junk going on in your body.
Good idea, yes. And as you start to breathe in,
here we go.
For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. In. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Awesome.
You're all done now.
Nice. It really makes me feel better. And, in today's society, we are really plagued with a lot of stress, anxiety, impatience, temper flare-ups. So if you really care about your body, especially your mind, just try this first before you turn to the aspirin or the quick cocktail just to get you through a moment. First, try breathing. All right, so today's subject. I had promised last week when I didn't get through last week's show, I was going to continue it, but I felt that we had another important topic to cover today, so I promise I will jump back to that last week's topic and finish it a different show. But today's topic is about acne. So I have a really loyal listener and his family that came in about the subject, and I hope he's listening now, because I left the store yesterday and realized that there are many people near and dear to my heart that are suffering with skin conditions, and it was one of the major things that turned me towards nutrition at a very young age. And I had kind of forgotten about going through that. But at the time, I thought, this is it. I can't go to school. I mean, look at this. And it really, acne is an extremely difficult phase of life. And some people go into adulthood with it. So I really did a bunch of research to kind of refresh me on the topic, to help not only this customer, but myself with my teenage son, and hopefully lots of other listeners know someone that this information can help. So again, thank you for listening. And if you have any questions, please call the show in case I don't cover what you need to know about it. Or if you have any input, I always love new ideas or recipe suggestion for the topic. So call us at 340-1590 if there's anything you'd like to add or a question. All right, so acne. It's definitely, even though the skin is the largest organ, that you really have to take seriously. It's not just this, solid protector of the inside of the body. Your skin interacts with everything. It's definitely, things can go through it, things can go out it. You have to treat your skin like a very delicate organ that you need to take care of, just like any other organ inside your body. And, our body does give us signs that the body might be off balance or going through an extreme situation. And acne is one of those telltale signs. So when I was young, my telltale sign when I was about 13 years old is I started getting cysts on my jawline. So it wasn't really acne. It was definitely more cyst, boil-like, and it was really hard to deal with. It just was uncomfortable. I didn't have any idea where it was coming from. And at the same time, I had all my gut issues, bloating, distension, nausea, throwing up. And as a young girl, it was really difficult to be challenged by this and not have anyone that had knowledge about this subject. My mom worked at a hospital and definitely brought me into lots of appointments, and no one had the answer. And like today, which again, if everyone knows my age, that was a long time ago, still today, they still treat skin eruptions the same way, and it's still not proving any solutions. So if you look at all the acne commercials now, the info commercials, the YouTube videos, the acne meds are still very dangerous with many side effects and sometimes extremely expensive. So there's that road to go down. And then there's shots that basically might make your skin look better for maybe a week, if that, and then leaves the skin more vulnerable for the next eruption, leading to scarring. And then the typical way for especially female acne is put them on birth control at an extremely young age, sometimes even before they started their menstrual cycle. So these are all the methods I don't agree with at all. And that customer let me know that their doctor suggested not only with the birth control, but to do antibiotics. That I don't recall the doctors of my time doing that at my age, but that to me is crazy. Because what are one of the causes of acne, especially younger adults, is gut health. So here you're going to take an antibiotic that is going to destroy all your good bacteria that's probably fighting to survive in an unhealthy environment to keep your skin as healthy as possible, and now you're going to destroy all the good bacteria. So these type of solutions are definitely not what I believe in. And so, or if you've tried these things and they're still not helping you or your loved one, then maybe it's time to think outside the box. And like I always say, if you don't want to take my word for it, just try it for at least 30 days. If you do not see an improvement, again, my apologies, but usually everyone does if you make the commitment. And it is your choice. If you want to get better or make a change, sometimes the changes are hard, but each and every day it gets easier. And especially when you can physically see the results rather quickly, it's definitely encouraging to keep up the good habits. And normally, all the things that any holistic person would suggest always has no side effects and is a benefit for the entire body in every system and anything you might face today or tomorrow. So again, it's definitely worth it. So with acne, usually there's a few main causes. And again, I'm representing here all age groups, so not just young adults. Some people, unfortunately, even into adulthood, has acne. So food sensitivities, in my opinion, is number one. So some people call it food allergies, intolerances, sensitivities. In my mind, it's all kind of the same. If you're sensitive to something, you should still avoid it, just like as if you were allergic to it. And dairy, is the number one food sensitivity issue for acne. And I definitely believe that, and especially because I know firsthand. So here I was with all those cysts, and I went through all the normal approaches and nothing worked, and I got worse and worse. And then my sister, if anyone knows my story, met someone that was a hippie, into nutrition, pretty famous today, and told me to stop dairy. That was the only suggestion at the first conversation, is stop dairy. I only stopped dairy for, I think, and it's hard to remember that far back, but it was maybe a week, very close to a week. And all my cysts on my chin line disappeared, and my distension in my stomach stopped, and the throwing up. So that was just a week. So again, I was doing a lot of dairy foods in the type of, with ice cream and pizza at that time. You know, my mom was working nights, so my dad was making the best choices he knew how to. So that was my situation. I was consuming a lot, so to stop that immediately made a huge difference immediately. So if you're moderately consuming dairy, it might take a little longer to see the results, but it's definitely worth giving up the dairy foods. Dairy foods have a lot of problematic issues with them. So most of our dairy is full of so many hormones. They are definitely trying to get this milk into these containers to the stores quicker, and in that case, they give them lots of hormones to produce more milk. And these poor cows, to begin with, are not fed correctly. They're not kept in the right environment. It's heartbreaking to watch some of these documentaries to see how it is. And it doesn't matter if you don't want to be a vegan. We are talking about making better choices that aren't filled with hormones. And they have the dairy foods today have so much casein in it that is definitely inflammatory and causes many skin outbreaks, not just acne, eczema, psoriasis, dry patches, unexplained rashes. So the dairy foods today that are filled with so many hormones, and most of the time people assume, even today, that it's the fat in the dairy foods that's so dangerous, but it is not. It is not. It's basically the way that the milk is produced, the homogenization, the pasteurization. It's destroying anything that could have been good in the dairy food and basically making it, as my fiance loves to say, pus, unhealthy pus. I mean, the most disgusting word, but when it comes to milk, I definitely agree. So if you know someone that consumes dairy foods that has acne, that would be the first thing to go. And now today, I mean, it wasn't like this when I had to give it up, but now there's so many amazing, healthy alternatives to dairy in every food category, whether you want a pizza or an ice cream or just a plain old milk. There's delicious coconut alternatives, nut alternatives. I do not promote soy either. It has a whole nother host of issues, which would be another show. So definitely in all supermarkets now, you can seek out healthy alternatives to cow's milk. So definitely worth a try. And a little mention here, when you're trying to stop, eruptions of the skin, think of like eruptions as inflammatory, like the body's trying to eject something. You also don't want to put other inflammatory foods in your body. And so some of the alternatives to cow's milk has carrageenan in it. So just be a little cautious. We buy an almond milk that has no carrageenan in it. And it's pretty obvious that it's a health concern now because the brands that do not have it in there put it right on the front of the label. So be cautious with everything you purchase, especially if it's going to be an item that you're going to consume every day, and especially your children. you want to get the best and do your homework. So I'm giving you a little hint here. Carrageenan is inflammatory, and once in a while, not a big deal, but if you're going to consume it every single morning or afternoon, you definitely want to get that out of the product, out of your diet. So dairy's definitely the first. So inflammation, okay, and sensitivity is also caused by grains. So it's really tough with the grains now because grains make flour, and flour seems to be in everything. So there is a lot of people that get confused because something might say whole grain on the label, and they definitely think it's the healthier choice when it comes to bread, cereal, crackers, pasta. The whole grain word deceives most consumers. Even people that I know that are in this business for years still get tricked by the whole grain word. The whole grain word, just like sometimes organic can be misused, is extremely confusing. So in the grocery production world, whole grain can be used even if only 10% of the product is whole grain. So therefore, you might see cookies or again crackers or bread and be like, oh, it's whole grain. It must be good for me. Well, whole grain still means that it could be refined, bleached, enriched, and full of gluten. And those are all the things that create inflammation, a major cause in any skin conditions, as well as pain and making rapid aging. So many host of issues with inflammation. If you're constantly living in a state of inflammation, your body cannot heal and rejuvenate and be the best version of itself. So you want to try to prevent anything that's creating your body to keep the inflammatory cycle going strong. So it is easier if you tell yourself that you're going to go grain-free or spend the time researching. It's super easy now. All the information is on the internet, and it's really a 10-minute research to which grains are organic, non-GMO, and gluten-free. For instance, oats. Oats can be a little confusing because there's about 2 companies right now in the supermarkets that make gluten-free oats, but that's an heirloom seed. Most oats do have gluten. So if you're starting your morning every morning with oatmeal, especially instant, thinking, oh, I'm doing something so healthy for me, I saw these claims about cholesterol, it does not mean that product. That product is super refined, super processed, and super full of gluten, and that is going to inflame you and spike your sugars. And that's the other issue with grains. Even though grains are healthy, if they are like ancient grains like quinoa and amaranth and steel-cut oatmeal, that's the heirloom seed, gluten-free, if they're misused, meaning eaten out of proportion with your other food groups, you can definitely have blood sugar spikes because grains break down to starch, which break down to sugar. And again, we are meant to have some starch and sugar in our body, especially for our brain, but not too much. We just need a handful. I always try to get people to think of those movies where you see, the Japanese people eating the rice. Now, when I went to school for nutrition, I lived in a household that was run with a Japanese family, and I learned a lot. They took these tiny little bowls with their chopsticks and ate the rice. And that's it. They had this tiny little bowl. So when they do all these beautiful studies talking about how healthy Japanese people are and they ate brown rice all day long, it was because they had a tiny little portion at a time of a beautiful, organic, non-GMO brown rice product. So again, you gotta read the whole story, not just be like, well, brown rice was curing cancer back then. Different product, different time, different lifestyle. So remember, read the whole story about the food group that you're deciding to consume every day. I love grains. Oh my gosh, I love them. I could eat them all day long, but I definitely notice if I eat too much, I get tired. I actually almost feel a little acidic. And so that's a great sign that something's not in balance. Where if I ate a great big steamed vegetable dish or a salad, I never get that discomfort. So you need to listen to your body. It will give you all the answers. And when it comes to acne, it kind of represents itself real quickly in the mirror, so you can see the differences rather quickly. All right, so then again, watch the foods that you're sensitive to. Dairy and grains are definitely two of the biggest ones, okay? But animal foods are as well. Now, animal foods, again, it's because of what we did to them, okay? Beef, the cows, they're not eating grass any longer. So if you seek out grass-fed beef, again, do your homework. Make sure it's truly grass-fed, not just part of its raising, the whole entire process of its life. Grass-fed only, no hormones beginning in its life or at the end of its life. Sometimes, again, to advertise and make a quick buck, they will say grass-fed, but then there's a little or no hormones added. But they say added, but they're in their feed. So it's a little bit of deception there, and I'm sad to say it, but I see it in many of the brands that I wish were okay. But do your homework about the eggs you buy, the meat you buy. It is great to get hormone-free. That will definitely help if someone's trying to fight acne, because their hormones, especially in a young adult, is already like a roller coaster ride. They're surging up and surging down, and they're going through all these hormone spurts. But if you don't add any synthetic hormones from your food, your body has a much better chance at balancing out its own. Our hormone levels and our receptor sites are meant to stay in balance even through our biggest growth periods. But if we're adding synthetic hormones, especially from dairy and animal foods, it's a lot more difficult to control it. So after we take a break, we are going to go from the food causes, to hormones and stress and cortisol and why they greatly affect acne. So I hope you stay with me. And again, I appreciate your time. And we'll be right back after a couple messages.
Guiding the Treasure Coast in health, one person at a time. That's their motto at Joanne's Nutrition World, Suite 121, in the historic arcade building on US 1, downtown Fort Pierce. Joanne brings more than 25 years of experience in the natural health industry, right here to you. Take advantage of this free personal guide to wellness and good health. Meet with Joanne herself and get started. Nutrition World always provides you with the hottest new product lines, natural and homeopathic remedies, herbals, and best of all, expert advice from the people who care. Call Joanne at 464-3598, 464-3598, and learn the correlation between diet and great health. Stop in today. The expert guidance to health is always free at Nutrition World. Nutrition World, Suite 121 in the Arcade Building, US 1, downtown Fort Pierce.
Hey, it's Dr. Ravi at Tradition Family Chiropractic. We are dedicated to serving you and your family with integrity, compassion, and innovative care through the most advanced chiropractic care ever in chiropractic history, encouraging your health and your family's health to its maximum potential on a regular basis. Call us today at 772-345-0060 or schedule online at traditionhealth.com for your free consultation.
We now return you to Joanne's World of Nutrition with Joanne Augusto.
Hello, everyone. Thank you again for listening. I really appreciate the time you're spending with me this morning. Oh, and what about this cooler weather, huh? Is that not awesome? Yes, oh my gosh. Yep, I actually went rollerblading a couple mornings ago, and I could do it without my face turning into a tomato from heat. So love that. Love it, love it. trying to get all in shape for the wedding, looking my best. So yes, today's topic is acne, and I hope everyone realizes the body is one system. It really tries to find balance no matter what it's up against, but all systems are involved in every single thing that occurs in the human body. Like Dr. Ravi has taught us, the spine, the bones, the organs, the cells, the tissue, it doesn't matter, head to toe, it all is communicating with each other, and everything you do, emotionally, spiritually, physically, I can even say economically, financial pressures, can wreak real havoc on the body. So today's topic being acne, being that is on the skin and not always on the face. Sometimes people have it, on the back, on the shoulders. It doesn't matter where your skin flare-ups are. It's just your body is saying, hey, please give me some thought. Let's put me back into balance. And now we're talking about causes. So we talked about food sensitivities, especially dairy. I would give that up right away. And again, even if you commit just to 30 days, it's a great start. And the hope is, if you see a big difference, which I truly believe you will, that will motivate you to keep going. And there's an expression I love to use. If you found the life raft for your sinking ship, why would you get back on the sinking ship, right? Stay on the solution page. Stay on the answers. It's not like a quick fix and then you go back to what caused it. You find new habits, new foods, new things to do each and every day that gives you the best version of you. So if your skin is screaming, hey, I need some thought and help, give it to the skin and then keep it up. Keep the good work up. So dairy, grain, especially gluten grain, not grains that are organic and non-GMO. Definitely stay away from animal foods that are raised improperly and have tons of hormones. Definitely want to stay away from that. Now, hormone imbalance. Hormone imbalance is a tricky one, especially for young adults, because hormones are meant during growth spurts to have a little bit of a roller coaster ride. Not a huge one, but a little bit of one. So your testosterone is on the rise. Females are starting menstrual cycles. Boys are going through, they're deepening their voice. A lot of changes are already happening to our young adults, which they're trying to deal with all of this and peer pressure and lots of different challenges at school and at home. And then here we go. They're faced with acne. And then that could be a really big stressor in their life, so much so that they don't want to even go to school. And that will create more stress and anxiety, which unfortunately is one of the causes of the acne. So hormonal imbalance can be created from stress as well as blood sugar fluctuations. So my solution to that is adaptogenic herbs. I always try to suggest keep an eye on blood sugar with diet. So if the child or a young adult is consuming a lot of carbohydrates, especially processed carbohydrates, that blood sugar is going to be a mess. So try to think more plant-based, more vegetables, and more healthy fats. Like Dr. Mercola, I love his suggestion of 70% healthy fats. Our brain predominantly fat. Every single cell, the rim of it, fat. All our hormones are produced, stored, and travel through healthy fat. So if you're not consuming lots of healthy fat, then your body is starving and it can't heal the skin or the cells inside or out. So I would definitely suggest avocados, olives, coconut oil. We consume, Barlean's makes this amazing swirl, they call it. The swirls are 9 times more absorbable than soft gels of oils, and they taste delicious. They have a mindful amount of stevia, not too much to make it too bitter or not yummy tasting. The one I love is the vegan one. The vegan one has borage seed oil, DHA, flaxseed oil. It's flavored. There's a couple different flavors. My favorite is the pomegranate blueberry. We always keep that in stock because I love suggesting that to get more healthy fats into your body for all the things I just mentioned, as well as healing the skin. The skin needs healthy fats, healthy oils to heal it. So you have to make sure you're consuming it for all the internal work that needs to go on and the external. So healthy fats definitely will stabilize the blood sugar levels and also will help the body fight some of the stress surges that it's having. So if you feel like stress is definitely an issue in your life, especially your cortisol levels, then adaptogenic herbs, which I love, I'm actually drinking them right now in my water, is really critical. I have never really met anyone that doesn't need adaptogenics. Adaptogenics basically help your body adapt to whatever challenges you're going through. And each and every day, sometimes we're thrown different challenges, just a really hectic lifestyle or bad food choices that your body has to deal with, or a stressful job or economic pressure. There's so many different challenges on a daily basis that if you take adaptogenics like rhodiola and schizandra, it keeps your body calm and in balance through it all. So I would definitely, and adaptogenics are safe for all ages. So I definitely try to get those consumed daily. I love starting the morning with it. As everyone knows, I love my coffee. But the real healthiest choice is to start your day with adaptogenics so it can set up your body for whatever it's about to be challenged with. And yay, we have a phone call. Russ, good morning.
Yeah, I just had to, I got a question, but at
Sure.
first I wanted to say I was running kind of late today, so I just munched down half a fresh, mature coconut.
Nice.
Just that little bit stuck with me way longer than a normal crappy breakfast did.
Exactly, right? That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I was curious as to where you stand with kombucha drinks.
Well, I love the philosophy behind kombucha, and that's going to come up next with my solutions with acne is gut health and having more fermented foods in the diet. And kombucha does go into that category. But unfortunately, in my personal life, I found that I developed a sensitivity to it where I did not feel well after I consumed too much. So maybe if people respect homemade kombucha, because some, like anything else, it got really popular, and then I think a lot of companies commercialized it. But if it's truly natural kombucha, especially homemade, and it's used the way it should be used, like a medicine, like each and every day to help our gut health and get our fermented foods in, I definitely feel like it has a very important place in our life. I just think I got a little carried away because I was hooked on them, and I was drinking, probably 32 ounces a day, and it just, my body started rejecting it a bit.
Maybe all the acidity in it.
Yeah, it's supposed to balance your pH, and with just like apple cider vinegar, it's one of those tricky things where if you just run it through, it could show a very high acid content, but the ash that it creates from the mother and the great bacteria that's in it should make you more neutral and healthy. So it's kind of a catch. If it's not made correctly, then it will run more acidic because it doesn't have all the correct cultures and balance that it's supposed to. But I definitely think if you get the right one or make it yourself, it's definitely a great added benefit to your day.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thanks, Russ. You have an awesome day. Keep eating that coconut. So good for you.
Bye.
All right, bye, Russ. Thanks. So we definitely he just touched on actually my next topic. So after using adaptogens every day and avoiding the real number one causes of the acne, and just to mention, a lot of times you Google on the internet acne, you still come up with avoid chocolate, avoid sugar, soda. I really do believe it's not just really those foods, it's any very acidic foods. And if you pull up on a chart between alkaline foods and acidic foods, you will notice that all the acidic foods are the very, very unhealthy foods. And unfortunately, caffeine is part of that acidic. So if you start your day with too much coffee or tea, like anything too acidic, so sugar, stress, those will create an imbalance and will hurt your body in tremendous ways. So just be careful about the balance. So if you love coffee, try to get a healthy one. Like I use the Isogenics coffee that's blended with sea minerals, like seaweeds and coconut oil, to help offset some of that acidity. So make better choices. If there is a habit that you are just so not willing to give up, make a healthier choice of that product so your body's not really being punished every single morning. So we were talking with Russ about fermented foods. That is definitely one of the most important things to do to help your body fight any skin issues. When your gut health is compromised, remember your gut is your second brain. If your gut health is compromised, not only does it need to be cleaned out, but it also needs to be rejuvenated. Fermented foods are critical for gut health. Unfortunately, here in the United States, unless you really followed some of your heritage and your cultured foods, we do not consume any. We consume so many processed foods that run us acidic. We are not enjoying any fermented foods. So for instance, kimchi, miso, sauerkraut, kefir, these are great, great fermented foods. And once again, make sure you buy the right ones. Homemade is great. It can be a little tricky. I never really got the hang of making fermented foods, but I'm not going to give up on it. But they do sell it in the regular supermarkets, but the health food stores, like the larger ones and like Nutrition Smart, Whole Foods, they do have a huge selection of fermented foods, all different pickles and sauerkrauts and miso. Miso can be light color miso, medium, dark, all different colors with all different flavors. Miso can be used for salad dressings and for soup itself, or just a seasoning for a stir fry. So definitely try to look into miso. A lot of people forget about that one, but it's really economical, and you can hide it in dishes without the kids knowing that they're even consuming it. And even the mellow white barley miso, that actually can be used in smoothies and shakes, and they wouldn't even know it's in there. So there's a lot of great ways to get fermented foods into your diet without necessarily eating a bowl of kimchi. So you want to really take care of your gut health. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, oh, I just know me and my family are not going to start eating fermented foods, then you can actually buy fermented food supplements like Dr. Mercola. I have his whole line of fermented food supplements. So fermented mushrooms, fermented beets, fermented apple cider vinegar. They're very affordable, easy to take. And there's also, of course, probiotics. So probiotics are the most important thing for gut health. Your fermented foods will help you naturally get your gut health going and your good bacteria. But to take a probiotic supplement now is super easy. They even have high quality ones that are shelf stable. At my store, I run the Garden of Life ones, which I really do love that brand. They really do have great probiotics at always at 20% off. So you definitely don't want to use cost as a reason why you can't take probiotics for the entire family. They are so affordable now, easy to use, and easy to swallow. You can get like a 50 billion one that's small enough for even a young child to swallow the pill. So definitely start adding some probiotics into your day. So now that we've figured out that gut health is super important in keeping stress and cortisol low, then we definitely have to think about the liver. So what does the liver do in the body? It cleans out the body, okay? So if your liver is stagnant and not working properly, then it has to send these toxins somewhere. It's toxin overload. So your liver definitely needs daily help to clean itself out. It's
It pays
kind
to
of
have a good liver.
yeah, and when do we think about our liver? Only when it's not working. When we get the results from a doctor, you have fatty liver, your liver's not operating at 100%, and then we start thinking about our poor liver. Start thinking about it right now, at this very moment. Think of it as your teeth, your liver, your filter in your car, your filter in your house. We clean all those things, don't we? Between getting our oil change or changing our AC filter or brushing our teeth. We assist these things. Why? Because we think about them and we see them.
That's what
But your
helps us
liver
when we
needs it too.
When we accidentally ingest something we shouldn't, the liver comes to the rescue.
Yes. So your kidneys and your liver basically take the brunt of bad choices. Now, some of the bad choices are not up to us. They're environmental and we're breathing them in. So, try your best again to make your environment the healthiest it can be. But we do have control over what we drink and eat. It is up to us. It's not our doctor's fault. It's not our parents' fault. Take responsibility for what you eat and drink. And our liver, if it's a chemical, if it's man-made, if it's processed, I don't care how fancy the label and how many pictures of vegetables they put on it, it will hurt the liver if it's synthetic. So if it's made in the laboratory, the body has to convert it to something usable. And then again, there's what they call a toxicity burden to the body. If the liver is overwhelmed and the kidneys can't help it out enough, or the gallbladder's like, hey, way too much for me, then boom, it's going to come through the skin like, hello, enough is enough. So definitely give your liver lots of loving. How? Hot water and lemon. A phenomenal way to help the liver and the kidneys. I love limes. A lot of times it's hard to get organic lemons and limes. So I'll go to Sam's Club and get those great big bags. They're so economical. So, there is the dirty dozen of the things that you really want to shop organic. But lemons and limes, if it means you're not consuming them because you can't afford organic, buy the regular. Soak them or don't use the skin and just squeeze them. But hot water and lemon and lime, great way to help the liver. And we have so much more to cover, but you just definitely want to give your liver and your kidneys some loving, okay? And really watch out for how much bad choices you're sending into your body for it to deal with. So another solution, okay, is green foods. Like I mentioned, acidity comes from bad, unhealthy foods. What makes the body alkaline? Greens. I don't care how many objections you have to vegetables. Overcome them. Overcome them. Make good choices when it comes to vegetables. There's so many yummy vegetables. Try them again. Make them differently. Throw them in a smoothie. Even if you have to cook them. A cooked vegetable is better than no vegetable. Just please give vegetables another chance. There's a documentary Dr. Ravi was playing that showed the President Bush saying that he won't eat broccoli anymore. And it literally almost made me cry because, I know it's years ago, but it just really sends a really bad message out there. Vegetables are awesome. I can't imagine anyone finding fault with them other than their tongues are so destroyed by all the processed chemicals that big food companies have tortured us with, the fat, the salt, and the sugar. So we are brainwashed by all this unhealthy stuff that's making us into these medication zombies, and it really gets me mad. And so eat the vegetables, folks. Again, you can buy vegetables in powders that are apple flavored or yummy flavored. You can buy pills of vegetables. You can, juice them. Just get them into your body. Become alkaline, become healthier, and tell these food giants that they don't control your body. It just really gets me mad sometimes.
What about these crunchy chip-like simulations that they're putting vegetables like split peas?
Well, that's a perfect example, Cliff, of the food giants thinking we're stupid. They just really prey on the one word. And my kids, I see people, I love falling for this. It's a perfect example. Oh, look, it has a vegetable in it. Well, how could it have that much in it if it's like just a dehydrated powder in a fried food product? Definitely not the healthiest choice. But would I rather see you eat that than, a GMO potato chip? Of course. Again, you make the best choices possible. But we could have about 10 shows on, the food companies and how they are all like in cahoots to basically get us hooked to fat oils, bad oils and sugar and salt. Profits and killing us. It's horrible. Okay, so now back to positive things and solutions. Essential oils. If anyone's been to my store recently, they know I love essential oils. There's not one day that in my home or in my store that I don't have the diffusers going. And I have tons of essential oils. I only carry companies that have really, really great standards as far as where they get their plant-based herbs or plants for their oils, their extraction methods. They're not using fillers or junk. So essential oils are extremely medicinal and beneficial for any issue, but especially for skin issues. And before I go into essential oils, we have another caller. Good morning, Pat.
Hey, good morning, Joanne. Love you. Love your show. And everything.
Thank you.
That's great. There was about a year ago or two, maybe it was 2 years ago, you said something about bee pollen. And I was wondering how that, if people who took it, because I thought it might have taken some things out of my body that I might need. I remember there was something about bee pollen. You take it in the morning when your stomach's empty.
Yeah, the strangest thing is that, for years and years, bee pollen was one of the first things that us hippie health food people would put in their stores to sell, and with wheat germ and lots of other good things. But now bee pollen, there's not much available. It's hard to get. It is more expensive. But if you truly get quality bee pollen, it is, again, a little expensive, so I don't have it at my store anymore, but it is nature's most perfect food. And it does enrich the body. You only need a few granules a day. And I usually special order it. That way it comes in nice and fresh for people. But bee pollen definitely has a place in a healthy diet. But again, some people have sensitivities to it. So I always say start with a few granules, literally like 3 little granules. And then every 3 days build up to a few more. So I would definitely, if you want a special order through me or seek it out somewhere else, make sure you're buying quality bee pollen that's, done correctly.
Maybe it was that. Maybe I was thinking that maybe the cellular structure of where I was and so long eating, not healthy, really healthy. And
but it's never too late, right, Pat? Never too late.
I just thought it might have had some kind of maybe a drastic effect because it seemed like it seemed when I was taking it seemed okay, and then when I stopped it seemed like it kind of maybe drained me a little bit. But I can't. It's so hard to figure out.
It is, and that's why I can't imagine like how people can do studies because there's so many different factors. Our environmental factors, our emotional factors. They're just too much. So I always tell people just each and every day make the best choices you can. Use your intuition, feel your body. If your body's not looking good or feeling good, you're doing something wrong. It doesn't take any expert or appointments to figure that out. Just look in the mirror. And, if you're not sleeping right, you're not feeling right, you're not looking right, then you got to change. So,
you got to use deductive reasoning. You just take one thing out.
Exactly. And we all know the real bad things. It's just sometimes it's harder to deal with it than others. But just, keep going and hopefully keep listening. And hopefully I'll give you some more information with this next segment that you can pick up on.
You're great.
All right. Thanks,
fantastic.
Pat.
I love it.
Thanks, honey. Have a great day. All right, so essential oils. Now, this is my favorite category. So the next 5 minutes, I'm going to talk a little fast. All this information can be gotten through the internet. So if you forget anything I'm saying, you can Google any of these essential oil names and get in-depth information, YouTube videos. Please, people, the info is out there for you to educate yourself, to really listen to your body and heal yourself. Let's start with the number one favorite that I have is that's frankincense oil. What's great about frankincense? Totally safe. So if you're nervous about an oil and which one to use internally, externally, diffusing, putting it over with a hot towel and water, hot water and towel, that would be frankincense. Again, make sure you're picking a high quality one. It shouldn't be less than $40. Frankincense is expensive, but you're only using 1 drop, maybe 2. The bottle will last you a while. So frankincense is amazing. It's anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial. It'll actually only attack the bad skin. So if you have an outbreak, this is one of those oils that you can apply directly to the pimple. Some oils, you always want to use a carrier. With frankincense, you put 1 drop on your pinky and just dab it along the infected areas. And then if you want to diffuse it in the room, it's great for anti-aging, great for skin. And the best part is it's hormone balancing. So after you're done putting a little bit on your acne outbreak, put 1 to 3 drops on your tongue. And again, it depends on, how big of a person you are, but 1 drop will be wonderful. And that's hormone balancing. So you're attacking bacteria, you're attacking inflammation, and you're controlling hormone balancing. So those are all like the major causes of acne all in one. So if you don't have a budget to have a beautiful supply of essential oils in your cabinet, then definitely start with frankincense. Super good for you. There's even studies of it killing cancer cells, especially breast cancer cells. So get some frankincense into your cabinet. But tea tree, lavender, super awesome. And lemon oil. Remember, citrus is only to be used at night. It can cause reactions with the sun. But lemon and a coconut oil blend every night will lessen scars and the look of blemishes and definitely brighten the face. So everyone, please don't give up on your kids. Don't give up on yourself. If you have skin outbreaks, there is solutions. And call the store if you have any more questions. And my cell phone number is always available if you come visit the store. Have a great day, everybody. I really appreciate your time.
You've been listening to Joanne's World of Nutrition. Brought to you by Nutrition World in downtown Fort Pierce.
Guiding the Treasure Coast in health, one person at a time. That's their motto at Joanne's Nutrition World, Suite 121, in the historic arcade building on US 1, downtown Fort Pierce. Joanne brings more than 25 years of experience in the natural health industry, right here to you. Take advantage of this free personal guide to wellness and good health. Meet with Joanne herself and get started. Nutrition World always provides you with the hottest new product lines, natural and homeopathic remedies, herbals, and best of all, expert advice from the people who care. Call Joanne at 464-3598, 464-3598, and learn the correlation between diet and great health. Stop in today. The expert guidance to health is always free at Nutrition World. Nutrition World, Suite 121 in the Arcade Building, US 1, downtown Fort Pierce.